Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel World of Nabila. As you all know, World of Nabila is a channel all about personal and professional development. And one of the biggest components of personal development is to be able to save that money, to be able to build a better life for yourself, and budgeting, saving money, investing, all of those things create a massive part of that. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about all of those great things. But before I go ahead, I would like to put like a massive disclaimer, which is that I am in no way kind of certified or educated in that way to be able to give any formal advice. So everything I'm saying is based on my own personal experiences, things that I've done that have worked for me. This doesn't mean that following me step by step or listening to everything I say will completely change your life or do the things that I've managed to do. However, this is just a way for you to understand some of the things I've done and actually spend some time going out there doing your own research as well. So now that's been said, let's get right into it. So for me, it's very hard to budget and save. I've always been someone who doesn't really save any money. Like I would just spend, even as a little kid, I would spend all my money. Then I would go up to my sister and be like, oh my God, like I have no money. And then like I would make like, like sad, like puppy dog eyes kind of thing. And my sister was like super nice. So she'd be like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want? And life would be all fine and dandy. But as you grow older, you do need to think about savings, budgeting and all of that fun stuff that comes with adulting. So I actually only realized I should be saving and budgeting when the pandemic first hit, because I saw a lot of the stuff that was coming on the news and a lot of like people really struggling, and I realized that actually, God forbid, if I was to lose my job, I actually don't have any savings to fall back on. Like I'm lucky in the position that I do have my parents who I could go back to and be like, look, this is what's happened. However, at the same time, for someone who's working or who is working full time, I hadn't really thought about saving or budgeting as much as I should have. So the pandemic was like a real like kick on the backside and be like, okay, girl, you gotta get your A game on and work on this. So first thing I did was I actually first figured out obviously how much I get paid every month, because it does like change slightly because like how taxes work and stuff, and I never really understand that. So I spent some time understanding that, followed by understanding what my essential outgoings were and what kind of my nice to haves were. So what that meant was like I figured out, my rent, my bills, like transport costs, all the things that I needed to pay for, right? I couldn't get away from. I created a list of those things and calculated how much that was. And then every month, as soon as I got paid, I would put that money in a separate account, because those were things that had to be paid for, that needed to go out. Then I looked at all the things that I was spending money on that were kind of nice to have, which was kind of going out for meals, getting new clothes and all of that, or like takeaways, all that fun stuff. And I added all of that up. So I realized that really essentially I had a lot of space in that nice to have, which I could cut to go towards my savings. And unfortunately or fortunately, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so my going out, getting clothes, etc. had massively reduced. I was having a lot more takeaway, but even then kind of the cost of going out, like meeting friends and doing all those things and traveling, wasn't essentially there. So I knew this was a great space to kind of start budgeting and start saving that money. So I had an aim in my head that I wanted to have 6 months worth of kind of rainy day fund or 6 months worth of money in my account to fall back on just in case things went wrong. So that's what I was aiming for. So in my bank account, I went in there and set myself that savings goal, and every month I would put in kind of £100 towards it to start off with. However, as I started doing that month on month, just the excitement of seeing that number go up made me super like excited, and like just, I don't know, I have this huge thing about like tick boxes and like all those things. So for me, it was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So I actually just increased those things kind of myself, and I was like, okay, let me save like £200 or £300, kind of pushing that number further and further up. The other thing I did was I actually did the 52-week saving challenge, which was basically for example, if it's like week 1, you save £1. If it's week 2 of the year, you save £2, and so on and so forth. And you do it for every week of the year. And when you essentially first start saving with that, you feel like that's not a lot of money. And in reality, it isn't. If you've got a full-time job and if you don't have too many responsibilities, it isn't really that much money. However, at the end of it, when you look back over the year, you've actually saved like £1,300 to £1,400, which I think is a good amount of money, and can be kind of, a month or 2 months worth of kind of rainy day fund, which I think is quite good. So I thought that was a great way, and it didn't feel like too much money was going away from me. So that's one of the things I did. So that's kind of the overall like saving part of it. In terms of the budgeting part, like I said, all the key things that need to be spent money on, for example, rent, bills, etc., that you can't change when in a separate pot. But then came the budgeting side, which was kind of like the kind of money I was spending on food, going out, or takeaways at that point. And I tried to kind of budget it by saying, you know, I was allowed to have 1 or 2 takeaways a week. And I would try to kind of compensate for that by just, when I did go grocery shopping, I would get myself little treats. And even though I got myself those little treats, it would never equal the amount of money I was spending on takeaways. So overall, it really balanced out for me. And letting myself have that treat meant that I was never really going over that budget. Because what a lot of times people will do is they will just go cold turkey. So they'll be like, okay, so I used to have 10 takeaways a week, so now I'm going to go to 0 takeaways a week. And the reality is, if you're used to having 10 takeaways, going to 0 is very difficult. And the likelihood is you're not going to be able to sustain that. So what you need to be doing is looking at sustaining those numbers. And that's why you need to ensure that you're actually kind of, you know, if you're at 10, go to 8, then 6, then 4, then, you know, 3, then 2, then 1, that kind of thing. Don't just go from 10 to 0, because you're just not going to be able to sustain that. So that's kind of like my budgeting tips. The next part is the investing. And this is, again, where I just want to add a disclaimer that this is what I do for my investing. This isn't something that applies to everyone. You should only be investing what you're ready to lose. Like, that is one of the biggest things to remember when it comes to investing. Only invest money that you are willing to lose, because stock market is very volatile. It can go up and down, and you can lose your money at any point. So be very conscious about that. Now that I've said that part, so what I did was I got 2 apps at that time. So I got the Trading 212 app, and then I got the FreeTrade app. And all I did was I did a bit of research, spoke to a few friends who were in that kind of space, and invested in a few shares. Nothing too crazy. So what I do is every month I invest £100, so that's not a lot of money, but my plan is to invest on the long run. So I invest in shares that have a return long term. There are so many guides out there, so many things you can read, so many YouTube videos you can watch to help you learn about this stuff. I try to invest in stocks that I actually have an understanding about, because for me it's important to understand how that market will work and how those things go up and down. So I know a lot of people just kind of invest in like a bunch of random things because that's what people are saying are going up and down, but I try to invest in things that I actually understand myself as well, purely because I do find it interesting. So, and I do spend a lot of time reading about it and learning about it. So for me, I don't mind investing in kind of I guess stocks that I have spent time learning about, I guess. The other thing I do invest in is cryptocurrency. So as we all know, cryptocurrency has seen like a massive dip in the last couple of weeks, which was expected because that's what happens with stocks, cryptocurrency, with everything. They go up, they come down, they go up again. However, you have to be very careful, as I stated before, especially with cryptocurrency, because you know, you don't know when that can crash, right? Especially with the lack of regulations and the new regulations that are coming in now, crashes can happen at any time. So you have to be careful. However, I did my research around it, see what's going to go up and see what's going to come down. And the other thing you need to I guess think about is the fact that how long you're looking to invest for, because there are certain cryptocurrency you can invest in that are quite like a quick time thing. So for example, you invest now and within like a month or 2 months you'll get your money back. Other cryptocurrencies are a good long-term investment, so you'll invest money now and like 3 or 5 years time you'll have like a good amount of money coming back. So really do your research. I don't want to go deeper into like why I invest in, because I don't want people to take this as financial advice, because it really isn't. I'm just not there. However, I would recommend doing your own research. Trading 212 actually has a forum where you can discuss these kind of things. You can speak to people, you know, and you can see what they're investing in. Then you can create your own pies, invest your own things. But really take the time to learn and research it, because like I said, you can lose your money. So only invest what you're willing to lose, but also still do your research, because who wants to just lose money for no reason? So that's kind of what I do. But the main purpose of this video, like I've gone through all the little bits that I go through, but the main purpose is to really focus on that budgeting, saving, investing, because a lot of times when you're young, you just think, well, you know, life's too short, I want to have fun, blah, blah, blah. And I want to do all those things as well. I want to travel the world. I want to get a house. I want to get a car. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do everything. And that's why it's so important to really, really consider what you're doing in terms of your savings, in terms of your money, because right now as a young person you might feel like it doesn't really matter, but it does. And even if you're just saving £100 a month, that does add up and it will mean a lot in the future. So really consider those things. Live your best life, but still think about how you can prepare for that future. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will have a new video out every Thursday, as you all know. So this video will be out soon. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions in particular, I'm always happy to have a chat, always happy to answer questions. Have a lovely day, and check out more of my videos below, or I'll tag them up there as well. So just check them out, and have a lovely day. Bye.